got a chance to see the new Neon film starring Tom Hiddleston called Life of Chuck. Let's check it out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zank. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, I just got back from Dallas. We were for the Dallas Fan Expo. I got to meet some people out there, including Sean Chandler. Went to a couple of his panels. I finally got to see Wes, and from Thinking Critical, he came in. So did Comics by Perch, if you're familiar with any of those comic YouTubers. But yeah, also Snarky J. So yeah, I had Gary from Nerdrotic even stopped by the booth as well. So lots of fun, lots of fun. I got to see a few celebs. So I got signed Christina Ricci and Jennifer Beals. So it was funny when I went to see Jennifer Beals because I had worked with her on the L Word and during 2020, so 2021 maybe, and so of course that was COVID, and we were making good money doing COVID, so I was a COVID manager at the time. And I said, oh, yeah, I worked with you about 3 years ago on the L Word. And she said, oh, yeah, what'd you do? I said, oh, I was a COVID manager. And she's like, oh. It was pretty funny. Then I got to meet Patricia Velasquez from The Mummy. I had a really nice conversation with her. We were talking about the fact that nothing's going on in Hollywood and nobody's really working. And yeah, she said, look around. Look at all the actors, and that'll tell you that nobody's working. This is what they're doing now. I also got to see James Marsters and Michael Rosenbaum, his pictures in the middle of these. So I'm not going to pull it out. But yeah, also we are launching, first of all, check out my stuff on Amazon, including Destiny Aurora, my fantasy novel on Amazon as well, called Tales of Ravonna the Iron Witch. And then we're releasing our new comic called Fairy Tales of Terror, which is now on Kickstarter and pre-launch. So if you want to check that out, just hit this QR code, or you can check out the link in the description below. All right, so let's jump into the movie. And so this, again, was a pre-screen, and so I had no idea what I was seeing. This is not a movie that I would have seen on my own, that I would have chosen to see. And when it came on, I kind of groaned and rolled my eyes. This is a movie based on a short story by King, and it is a full drama. It is a drama. As far as I'm concerned, it's an art house drama. Stephen King is what I was trying to think of. I couldn't remember his first name there for a second. So yeah, it's a short story by Stephen King way back in the day, and elongated to a full hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. Not sure how long it is, but it's a gimmick movie, and what I mean by that is it's told out of order for no reason whatsoever. So it is done by Mike Flanagan, who directed Dr. Sleep. And he also worked with Karen Gillan in the past on Oculus. But this stars a lot of Marvel actors. So first of all, you have Tom Hiddleston in the lead role, though he doesn't have a whole lot of screen time as far as I'm concerned. I guess his photo does more than he does. Carl Lumbly, who was just in Captain America, not the new one with the Red Hulk, Brave New World. Karen Gillan is also in it. I'm going to massacre this guy's name. I never know how to say this guy's name. Chiwetel Ejiofor? I don't know, man. I cannot say that name for the life of me. Anyway, he plays Mordo from Doctor Strange. He played in both of them. So, you got right there how many you have four Marvel people right there. Matthew Lillard has like one scene. A lot of people only have like one scene. Mark Hamill is in it, and I guess he's now typecast as a Kurt Mudgeon. That's all he plays now. It was great to see Mia Sara again. In fact, I was like, "Who is that? I know that person," and it was Mia Sara. She doesn't look like back in the day, where she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. Especially when she had, I don't know why she cut all her hair off, but she did. But she, of course, is from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She's from Legend with Tom Cruise. She's just done a pile of stuff, and she's always been really nice. But anyway, she's playing, grandmothers. It's scary. But so what I mean by also the girl from Megan's also in it. She's popping up a lot now. So I think she has a good career ahead of her. She keeps popping up on these little things. Because again, she only had a couple of scenes. And then Raul Coley from iZombie is also in it. He's got a huge, huge cast. So this is from what I could tell, a $40 million movie by Neon, which is pretty big for Neon. But there was a ton of companies behind it. You're going to see logos, like 4 or 5 logos, before the movie even starts. And I heard it was another $20 million in print and advertising. And it comes out this weekend, the 6th. So we'll see. So it needs to make like $150 million to break even. And I just don't see that happening. So when I say there's a gimmick and it's told out of order, so for some movies it really works. Like if there's a reason for it. Like Strange Darling. I think there was a good reason to tell that out of order because of the fact that it changes the design and the characterization or your perception of the characters as you watch it, where you go, oh no. And the only way to do that is to create that reveal is to do that out of order. With this, it actually is detrimental to the film by telling it out of order. So it starts in chapter 3, or is it chapter 3? Act 3. I think it's Act 3. And it goes Act 3, Act 2, Act 1. So it's completely backwards. And I don't like that at all. But it starts out with these people, and they're going through basically the end of the world. Internet just crashes. There's no internet. And now then their phones don't work. Then, they're just there's so much traffic, they're just leaving their cars in the middle of the street. Stuff like that. And eventually they just prepare for the end of the world. Meanwhile, there's these commercials and billboards and all these things for Chuck. Thank you for 39 years of service, or, thank you for a great 39 years. All this stuff. So everybody's like, who is this guy and why is he getting all this press? And we have the end of the world and he's the only commercial. We don't even have television anymore, but a commercial for him comes up. So that's the whole beginning. And then we go backwards to where we find out about Chuck, right? So now he's an adult. And then we go backwards again to him as a child. So that's why I'm saying that Tom Hiddleston doesn't even get a lot of screen time, because he's only in that middle chunk. That's it. And so his parents die, and he's basically brought up by his grandparents, which is Mark Hamill and Mia Sara. And it's about dancing. I mean, I don't know what this movie is about at all, to tell you the truth. I have no idea. After sitting through an hour and 40 minutes of this thing, I have no idea what this movie is about. It's just about this guy and his life. That's it. And told out of order. And how it affects the people in the beginning, which is very obvious. Once you watch it, it's very obvious about what's going on. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but that's the story there. And a lot of the scenes are too long. I can tell that he didn't want to cut up his baby. And Karen Gillan's going on record as saying that she cried about when she's, for days after watching this movie. Okay. All right. So I don't know. I didn't. I don't know if I'm just a robot or whatever. But there's some cute parts and dancing in here, but even the dance scenes are taking too long. And you're just like, all right, let's get this thing going. And it doesn't ever get going. That's the problem. It doesn't go anywhere. Instead, we're going backwards. So where what the stuff that happened when he was a kid would have been a lot nicer if we saw that pay off in the middle instead of showing us the middle and then telling us how it happened backwards. Why this took place. Okay. And the whole beginning, of course, is about the environment, but it ends up not being any. It's nothing to do with that. Global warming. Thanks. That's what everything's about. That one. In fact, Lillard says, "Oh, it's the far right this blah blah blah," but it ends up not being about global warming about anything anyway. So it's just a wasted commentary. So I don't know. I was not enthralled with this film at all. I think the acting is extremely good for what this is. I thought that everybody did a good job of trying to make this realistic and taking everything that's happening seriously. But I thought even the kids, I thought that the choosing of the casting of the kids, I thought it was pretty good because they did kind of look like each other. The kids looked more like each other than they did Tom Hiddleston, but I did I liked the kids portion of the movie, I think, better than any other. I think that Tom Hiddleston dancing was great. I mean, he is an amazing, amazing dancer. I was pleasantly surprised with his dancing. Also, Sophia Boutilla's in this too for just a couple of scenes. Everybody's only got a couple of scenes for the most part. And in fact, I was just watching her with Dave Bautista in the Killers game. That's the best acting I've seen her do in that movie. I was actually, what the hell? I was trying to see who the girl was that was doing the dancing with Tom Hiddleston, but I can't find her anywhere. So I don't know. I don't know if I've seen her in the past. But anyway, he wrote and directed this thing, so if it fails, it's purely on him. The actors could not have done a better job. So it's a gimmick that really doesn't pay off. It ends very abruptly because you already know how it ends, even though you're telling it from the beginning. And so you already know where everything's going. And I don't know. I can't really recommend this film as far as going to the theater. If you want to watch it, wait for streaming. As far as I'm concerned, for me, it's a 6 out of 10. It's a better than an average film based on the acting. I was also happy to see that it was shot in Alabama, but at least it was shot in the States. And it also gets a little supernatural. Because there's this, they live in this Victorian home, and one of the rooms is locked, and there's a supernatural reason for that. Not ghosts, like it says. Just telling you, it's not ghosts. But yeah. So I don't know if you like art house films and you want to see some kind of commentary on life, then this might be the movie for you. If it's not, if you don't like the gimmicky art house stuff, then stay away from it. So that's all I can tell you. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up if you can. Remember, too, to check out my stuff on Amazon and check out Fairy Tales of Terror on Kickstarter right now. Sign up for the pre-launch so get notified about when we do launch. And if you don't want to hit the QR code, then there's a link in the description below. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks. Bye-bye.